I don't see anything.
There's two people on here. I see two people. Maybe that's just us two. I don't know. But we're
Hey,
live.
Kiki.
What's you
I'm
see?
Will.
We having technical difficulties.
No.
I'm Hector, and
Okay, there you go. We're good.
this is Terror Talk. You good? You froze up a
Yep.
little bit, but I don't know.
All right, cool. Yeah, I don't know why. Maybe it's a lag
Yeah,
on
okay.
that end. So yeah, Halloween. You ready?
Halloween, baby. It's the time. It's the place. We're here to watch Halloween movies, and we want to talk about some of the most terrifying horror movies. But like, what's like, what are some Halloween movies? I know we talked with Tommy
Come and
about it.
play. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, that's not
For
a Halloween
Halloween
movie.
movies,
It's a
let's
depressing movie,
see.
though.
I mean, maybe Halloween.
Yeah, Halloween's good. Yeah. So, what is your like during Halloween? Obviously Halloween's a great movie, Halloween one. But like, what's
Hmm.
your favorite one to watch on
Probably
Halloween?
any
Like, out
any
of all of them, what do you
anthologies.
like the best?
Like any anthologies, I think that's a good way to go about it. So like, I think if you guys haven't seen it, we did a collaboration with Tommy from Black Horror Survivor,
Hmm.
and I'll say it again. Creep Show, Trick or Treat are like my big ones to go to.
Yeah, I like Halloween movies are always good, right? Like the Michael Myers joints, they're always interesting. But like when you go around Halloween time, they all take place around Halloween, or they take place on
That's true.
Halloween.
Yeah.
But like the first one is great. The second one is, obviously it's a classic. Second one's pretty good. But like I think one that really gets overlooked often, it's five.
Oh,
the
which one?
the the fifth one.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
why
yeah.
is
That
that?
not the third one was Season of the Witch, then four was the
Uh
return
huh.
of Michael Myers, and then the fifth one was the I forgot the tagline on that one, but I think that one gets overlooked a lot because it's not as good as four, and has a really terrible ending. But I think that one gets overlooked. I like that one for Halloween. I pop that in once in a while. It's one where
That's cool.
terrible final girl too, but I
Like
like it.
one that I just saw the other day was The Thing, and I was like, "Oh, this is pretty cool."
Hmm.
Because when you haven't seen that movie in a while, there's some jump scares you're like, "Whoa!" You know what I mean? Like when he was
Yeah,
giving CPR to the doctor, and he just went through and it
yeah,
got his
yeah, yeah,
hand in
yeah,
him.
yeah.
I forgot about that. I was
Yeah,
like, "Oh shit!" You know?
they cut his hands off. I was like,
Yeah,
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 that scene is fantastic. Yeah, I love that part. The thing is really good because it plays well with a crowd of people. Like if you're watching it with a bunch of people and you're watching the thing, especially people that seen it for the first time or haven't seen it at all, this
yeah.
is their first time watching it. I think it plays really well with a big group of people. Like, and
Oh, 100%.
Halloween. That's about sharing. Yeah,
Yeah,
sharing your
yeah,
time, sharing your space with people, and like trying to get scared together collectively. So I think that's why
yeah.
the thing is good. Yeah. Anything weird about the thing that you know? Like, have you noticed anything weird about it? Like what
Well,
rewatching it? That
there's
like,
some funny parts with Childs. I will say that. I think it was just pretty interesting how when they were like, okay, we're gonna have to choose a new leader, and Childs went for the gun, and he's like, all right, I'm gonna go
yeah,
for it, and everybody's like, no, like, and they were like, what the, and then it instantly went to Kurt Russell. I'm just like, oh, okay, I see what's going on here. you
yeah,
know, that was just like a really random, like
some
John
underlying
Carpenter's like, yeah, I need this scene in this movie. And you're like, okay,
some underlying racism there.
I know, right? But how about you? What
But
else
no,
for
no,
Halloween?
yeah, like I like. See, I like all the see. I like all the Halloween movies, right? Those are all good. I even like the Buster Rhymes one. I'm a little bit more lenient on it around Halloween just because part of Halloween is just having fun. We're here to have fun. So like I don't take it too seriously. Resurrection. But one thing I wanted to ask you about because I was watching a bunch of Halloween movies and like Halloween themed movies. Why is it that they are more like they're more like open or like it happens more often, I think. I don't know, maybe I'm misjudging it, but like
You're like,
killing kids. Like killing kids. Like if
I
you
don't
look
know.
at like
Even even if you look at some lores on like Halloween, it's always like children's being
yeah.
like sacrificed. You know what I mean? Witches eat kids on Halloween, apparently, like stuff like that. But it's true. It's kind of weird. It's always like that. Trick or Treat has the one they kill a school bus of kids too.
They killed the
You
whole
know?
school bus of kids, yeah. And then
Yeah.
I remember, Tales of Halloween, they had that one they had 2 of them. They had one where there was that little kid dressed like the devil, and
Yeah.
he knocks on the actual devil's door, and then they frame him for a bunch of crimes, and then the police kill him at the end. They kill the little kid at the end.
Yeah.
And then they had the other one in that same movie where it was a bunch of little kids, killing a bunch of, adults, and
Yeah.
then you're
Yeah.
like, "Why are they killing these adults?" And you find out that the adults were kidnapping children and killing them in the basement. So it's like it's always, like, something to do with I think it's because of the holiday, because like,
Yeah.
Halloween is all about
It's
kids,
kids
you
eating the
know?
candy, and then there's a whole thing. Oh, you have to look in their candies because somebody's out killing them and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Poisoning
yeah.
them, blades in it and stuff
Yeah,
like
the
that.
razor
That's
blades,
true.
yeah, razor
Yeah.
yeah. So it's more inclined, like, intertwined with each other, like, people killing kids, you know, it's a
Yeah.
holiday for kids, but it's, like, so dangerous for them at the same time. I always wonder about that because you got, like, Trick or Treat, you got your movie, Halloween 3: Season of the Witch,
Yep.
um, and you got, Tales of Halloween,
There's some other
yeah,
ones too
did I say
about
Trick or
kids
Treat?
being killed and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Well, there's a lot of actually in Trick or Treat. That kid that got fed, remember the chocolate he kept throwing up? That
Yeah.
serial killer who
Yeah, yeah,
kills
that's
kids.
right.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that
Yeah,
was one.
yeah,
That
the
was
kid
another one.
from, Bad Santa, he kills that kid,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah, the
They
big
kill
kid.
that kid
Yeah,
in that
yeah,
movie.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but
It's
yeah, I
always
mean,
killing
I
kids.
get
I don't know, I
that's
don't know.
true. And why is it always like the trick or treating is happening in the same places? So we never see people trick or treating in the malls. It's usually at people's houses because like a lot of people don't live in neighborhoods like that. So you have to go to
Yeah.
malls, you have to go to like stores or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I've
Yeah.
always noticed that. I'm just like, oh, it's pretty interesting. Well, if you live in an apartment complex building, what are you gonna do, right?
Yeah, right, right,
So,
exactly, yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
but
that's what I always think of is like but I think that, like, with Halloween, it lends itself to anthology films. I think anthology films
yeah,
are an easy, safe bet. Like Creepshow, somebody mentioned in our comments, Tales from the Crypt, that, the original ones, the original 1975 one.
yeah,
Like, yeah, those are like yeah, like, they lend themselves because they're just different styles of
uh-huh.
horror all in one. They're quick and to the point. um, it's fun to get things that are quick and to the point because it doesn't have to be like you're not going to watch Hereditary on Halloween. It's first of all, it's
No, that'd be
intense
like,
subject matter.
all right. What's some movies that you wouldn't watch on Halloween? There are horror movies.
That's a good question.
Well, that
First, Serbian
Hereditary is a
film.
good one.
That's a
Trauma.
good Serbian.
I spit on your
Yeah,
grave.
Salo.
All
Yeah, none of that. Spit
you
on
get
your
out
grave.
of one and two and
Yeah,
three.
no, none of those. Nothing too intense emotionally or physically like and anything that's too intensely violent like visceral
Like
like
Super, right?
um yeah, yeah, anything that's too heavy, like and then we were just talking about, like, how Halloween movies, they mostly kill kids, but they're not, like
Yeah.
these movies
It's
aren't, like,
play.
really
It's
that harsh.
Yeah. It's gonna sound weird in a playful way. Like the kids are gonna
Yeah,
survive. They're not gonna die. But unlike in the other movies we
yeah,
mentioned, they definitely died. Um,
yeah,
but yeah,
yeah.
no, no.
Yeah, like, Serbian
Hereditary
film, that's no way.
that will fuck up my like Halloween vibe. You know what I mean? I'm like,
That would
yeah,
ruin
kids, let's get ready.
everybody.
Let me just watch Serbian real quick. And you're like,
No,
okay. And good
nah,
call on
none of
the
these dreams.
Where Evil Lurks, not watching it with the kids. Not a movie you can watch with kids. No
Yeah,
matter how
yeah.
tough they
Yeah,
are, especially when you have a
yeah,
dog, if you know what I mean.
yeah, exactly. Especially
That
if you
shit
love
took
your
me by
kid.
surprise, man. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That,
If you
but
love
yeah, actually watching that movie, it was pretty cool. I liked it. I mean,
mhm,
there was a lot of parts where it was like kind of like slow for me. So I was like, all
mhm.
right, come on, let's go. I get your ex-wife was whatever, but yeah, it was some parts were a little bit slow, but it was good.
Yeah, I liked it too. I may have come across a little harsh on it in my review, but I'm just saying because
No,
my
you just
problem with
didn't
this
believe
is
the
I
hype.
feel like
That's all.
it's overrated. Yeah, the hype.
Yeah.
I don't like when people hype up stuff. And I watched it. I I got it hyped up for me. It's my own fault. That crazy. I mean, I've seen crazier, but like when you think about it, you're like, yeah, it is a really good film. Like I like the idea, I like the lore, like how when the demon gets inside of you, whatever, it attacks the one thing that you love the most. So
Yeah.
it's like it's brutal. Like when the mom is like ripping out the little kid's
Yeah.
brain and eating it on the side of the road. I was like, oh man, that's rough. That's
Oh, forget it. What about
it pulls
the
no
pregnant
punches.
lady that was like hitting her face with the axe? and then you just see
Yeah,
it
yeah, yeah, yeah,
slowly just going in more, and it just I was like,
yeah.
that's a good
He's
scene,
just
man.
like
Because it's like
breaking.
it didn't look fake to me. I was just like, damn, that's a pretty realistic scene. If I ever saw anyone taking an axe to the face, I would assume it's like that, you know?
Yeah, the practical effects in that movie is notch, absolutely
Hmm.
top notch. Like I was very impressed by that. Now let me ask you this, because you just saw it recently. Um, the th- the the thing about that movie, so people make really bad decisions in that movie, right? Is it because the infection or the demon has an influence? Is that did you get that impression, or
I feel like I
is
do.
it?
I see what you mean with the influence, because like the goat was teasing the guy, right?
Yeah,
Remember when he was like he had the shotgun in his face? He's like, "Go away, please."
that's
Like he didn't want
yeah,
to, but
that's
then the
exactly
goat
what
was
I'm
kind of
thinking.
like, "Go do it, motherfucker." You know what I mean? I bet you won't, and he
Yeah,
did it. So
yeah,
like yeah,
like another
I
one
just
with the goat.
huh?
That goat scene, because she's like, "We know the rules, right? The rules are
Yeah,
established before
you can't
everybody."
kill it with
And they said,
evil.
like, "Don't use firearms," right?
Yeah,
And she's like, if you shoot that goat, we're all damned." Like, the wife is
yeah,
telling him that. And
yeah.
then, he
And
does it
she's telling him
anyway.
that you
So
have
I'm
a
like,
kid on the way
it
and everything like that.
yeah. So
Yeah,
is it like clouding their judgment in a way? Like, does it have that kind of sensibility? Like, that was kind of
I think
unclear for me,
so.
but I think
I
that
think
was.
so, yeah, because I
Yeah.
was like, that's what I got, because it was like he could have easily just not done that, but then the goat was like going closer to him, and
Yeah.
he
He,
even
like,
said
went up
himself,
right
"Please,
to the
please go away." Yeah, yeah, he was like, "Please go away," and, like he's like, "Don't make me do this," and then I guess maybe yeah, or maybe he's a prideful guy. I don't know. It's like, say you bet I think I can't. He just does it. But yeah,
maybe,
I
yeah,
agree.
but
A
it was like,
really
damn.
and he got murked too right after. So
Yeah, he did. He got his head cut off. Like,
yeah,
but it was like it felt like it was like it. And I guess this was the point of the movie, was that it was a creation of his own doing, the main character. Because if him and his brother just chilled and just like minded their own business and just stayed, none of this would have happened. They took it in their own hands to investigate and find the dead, not the dead body, but the infected one, and they wanted to dispose it. And like it was edited kind of like a comedy of errors type movie, because they were doing all this stupid shit. Like, he's like, I gotta get my kids, I gotta do this. Like, the way it was edited was like kind of Shaun of the Dead a little bit. And
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
kept looking like it's kind of are they trying to be funny, or is it just like, are they trying to be frantic? Like, is it more like Uncut Gems? Like, are they trying to make me, or are they trying to make
Yeah.
me laugh? Like, I was a little bit confused with editing. But right, what isn't it like kind of like a, you get what you deserve? Isn't that the kind of
Yeah,
the
pretty
theme of the
much.
movie? Or
Yeah, you fuck around, you find out kind of deal. You know what I mean?
fuck around, you find out. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
that's
should
very
be the
much
name of
the
the movie.
movie. Yeah.
If they remake it for
Imagine.
American audiences, they would call it "Fuck Around and Find Out."
Fuck around,
It
you
would be the
find out.
acronym. Yeah, because
That'd be funny.
he he yeah, because then at the end of the movie, he leaves his wife, right? He
Yeah.
leaves his wife because he has a severely autistic son, and then and he doesn't pay any child support. He bounces, hasn't
Yeah.
seen them, hasn't talked to them, and then wants to now be a hero, and then and save them from this infection that he caused. He caused the spread of it. And it's like at the end of the movie, spoilers, at the end of the movie, everyone's dead around him. His son, his not his son, his what was it? Son, his other son, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
right. It was a son, not a daughter. The daughter's
Yeah.
dead.
Yeah.
The
No, no,
daughter
it's the
gets
son.
infected. Is the son gets killed. The mother, his baby mama's dead.
Mhm.
Everyone's dead, and he's alone, and his mother's dead because he's alone with the autistic son that he never wanted to take care of, and he just drops to
Yeah.
his knees, and it's like, fuck you.
I thought one part
I
I found
hated
that was
that
kind of like
character, by the
funny
way.
was like that old lady. She took like sleeping pills, and I was just like, of all the times to take the sleeping pill, right? You
No,
remember? And then like
I know that. Yeah.
when she said, "Oh, I took sleeping pills, I can't," I'm just looking at her, I'm like, "What the fuck?" Like, okay, you
Why?
didn't even have to
It's the
mention sleeping
decision
pills.
making.
You're an old lady. You probably everyone would know you're like sleepy and whatnot. So
Right, exactly. How much energy do you have? Like, come on. Like,
yeah,
it was just a
yeah.
bummer. It was like a bummer of a story. But like, just I don't know. I didn't fall in love with it like other people said. Like, people's like, it's the meanest movie of the year. It's the scariest movie of the year. I wasn't scared. It is mean. It is a mean movie. It doesn't pull its punches. But I'm like, I guess the hype got me. But I did like it. It's in my
I
top
mean,
5 right now of best movies of the year. Best horror movies of the year.
that's pretty good. I don't know if it was
Mhm.
too hyped though, because I don't really remember too much. Like the movies for me that were really hyped this year alone. It's probably
Mhm.
Exorcist Believer. I would say.
Yeah,
I would definitely say
definitely.
Talk to Me. like crazy hype.
Mhm.
Like they were like,
Crazy.
trust me, you're gonna shit yourself when you see this. And then
Yeah.
yeah, pretty much in there, it was like neither. It was kind of like okay, it's like one of those
Yeah, those
whatevers. I would say Terrifier 2
were
might have had a
definitely
little bit
hype.
more overhyped too, in my opinion, because they always say like, oh,
Fire 2?
someone threw up. Yeah, because people are like always saying, oh, someone threw up in the movies, and I'm just like, I don't know if I believe that all the time. You know what I mean? You ever hear that? Oh, they have to give you
Yeah,
barf bags before you
yeah.
watch the movie. I'm
Yeah,
like, all
yeah,
right.
yeah.
There's
Yeah,
some
they said
movies
that for
that
another
will make
movie
you throw up,
recently.
but not that one. I think
Yeah.
Society is a
There
movie that
was
will make you throw
movies.
up.
Oh, yeah, especially the ending. But,
Yeah, yeah, that ending is just like,
there
oh,
was a
guys.
yeah. There was another movie that said that people needed barf bags, and I was like,
Yeah,
"Really?" I'm
it was
like,
a
"I
dumb
don't know." I
movie too.
forgot what it
I
was.
remember. I don't
Yeah,
remember what it was, but I know. I think for Terrifier 2, 100% that they were like, "Oh, we're giving barf movies with it." And I'm just like, I'm like,
yeah.
okay, all right,
But in Terrifier 2, I went to the movies to see that one. 3 people left the theater, so and they never came back.
You know what's
I
the
was
one
like
movie?
I was like, "What?"
You know what's the one movie I saw that a lot of people left was House of a Thousand
Yeah.
Corpse, and I don't know if it's
Oh, really?
because
They left?
yeah, like I remember when I went to go see that in the movies, it was packed, not like
Mhm,
sold out packed, but it was packed. And I just remember there was just like I'm trying to remember when that tall giant guy from Big Fish came out. Everybody
mhm,
just got the
mhm.
fuck out. Everybody just left.
He
They were
left
like,
from that
yeah,
scene?
from that scene, and I'm just like, what? I mean, it's a little creepy, but the guy's just awkwardly tall. It's not his fault.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah,
a lot
no.
of people left that movie. That was one movie I remember. A lot of people left.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of other movies that people left. Mother was another movie. I know this
Oh,
is like
really?
pseudo horror, but yeah, a lot of people left too. We saw it
Why?
in New York. We saw it in Manhattan. The
Mhm.
part where the baby dies.
Okay.
People were just like, "Peace." Like, I don't need more. I was like, "Don't you want to at least have us finish?" Like,
Yeah, I know,
people
right?
were like, "Enough." One
Like
person
5
threw
minutes
their
before the
hands
movie
up. They were
ends, like
like,
I
"Yeah."
gotta go.
It's always funny when somebody bounces out of a movie. Like,
Yeah.
I don't understand that. Like I get it. Like if a movie really sucks, that you bounce, but like for like it being too intense, like
Yeah.
that's pretty fascinating to me. But yeah, Mother. I've seen people walk out of Terrifier too. I'm trying to think other ones. House of a Thousand Corpses is an interesting one.
It's so random too,
Um,
right? Because
yeah,
it's
yeah, definitely.
I mean, there's some parts that okay, I could see if you're not a big time moviegoer, like a horror moviegoer, you're like, oh, I don't like this scene with the cheerleaders and all that kind of stuff. Okay, maybe,
Yeah,
but like the end, I could see why people were leaving. You know what I mean? The end kind of got like kind of
yeah,
broke the way everybody looked in Dr. Scene's place.
yeah.
But yeah, that's
That's
really
true.
it for
I
me.
think
You know?
yeah, like yeah, true. Yeah, what other I'm trying to think what other horror movies are good to watch on Halloween? Like we went over the Creepshow stuff, Creepshow TV
Yeah,
show.
yeah,
Tales of Halloween, that's a good one, I think. I think one
yeah.
that a lot of people don't know about, the Tales of Halloween. We spoiled two of the stories, but
I
well,
know,
I did.
right?
But
Everybody's like, yeah, I'm not gonna watch it
yeah,
no more. I mean,
yeah, I'm
there's a
good. I'm
lot of
good.
great movies to watch for Halloween, and I'm not gonna say like Hocus
Mm.
Pocus or something like that, but
Eh,
I'm trying to think what else is good
Monster
besides the
House.
obvious.
If we want more of a family friendly one, Monster House is a great movie. That's a movie
That's
that's
true.
made
It's a
for
very good
kids.
one.
But it's like it's inclusive enough where I'm like, okay, well, there's enough stuff in here for me. Like it's made for
Yeah.
kids. It's not overly scary, but you know, there's enough in there where I'm like, okay, this is an enjoyable film. So like, I know it's not for me, but you know, it's nice for them to include me. But I like Monster House. I think that was
What
good.
about a
Ro-
classic like Monster Squad? I think that's a good one for
Monster
Halloween.
Squad, perfect. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah,
a good
yeah.
one too. Yeah, because you
It's
get
good
all
for
the
like
classic movie
children.
monsters.
It's a little
Yeah.
scary some parts, but then
Mhm.
I think it's perfect. But it's interesting when you watch that movie and you see how the times were, I guess you could say. For example, like people are
Yeah.
smoking in their kid's face, right? And that's acceptable. Versus now, if
Yeah.
they're like, oh my God, they'll just make a comment. And then, yeah, just
They
seeing
have to
how
put that
everything
now.
was, it's very different. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they have to put that now. Like back in the day, smoking was just whatever. But now, like if there was a smoking scene in like a PG or
Yeah.
PG-13 movie, even an R, they're like scenes of cinematic smoking. Like they have to put it in there because of how influential it was.
It's
But
like Walt
which is
Disney.
great.
Like this is so random, but like Walt Disney, if you look at his pictures, right, a lot of them
Mhm.
they took out the cigarette from his finger. So
Oh,
when you see
wow.
him like talking, he has the fingers like he's smoking. He was a big time smoker, but they
Hmm.
took it out. So
Wow.
it's kind of funny how times are. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah,
back then,
times
if you didn't
change.
smoke, you were weird, kind of thing. Now it's like, are you
Yeah.
dumb? You know, you're smoking.
Yeah, like,
But yeah, no,
I mean,
must.
not too long ago, like yeah, like,
Yeah,
not too long ago, I'd be, like, in the Vegas airport, back in 2007, 2008, and it'd be filled with smoke. It'd be
yeah,
like you would walk in there and you would just get blasted with fumes of smoke, and that's, like, unheard of now. It's, like, unfathomable, like, to walk into an airport and smell smoke. Like, you'd be like, "This is insanity. What are we, animals or something?"
I
But,
know. It's like even airplanes. Remember they used to have like ashtrays,
mhm,
like smoking
yeah,
sects and stuff like that, and you're like stuck in an airplane. So yeah, it's just funny when you
that's
get to
crazy.
see that in movies, and then you see it today. You're like, oh, it's a big difference, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy, yeah. Yeah, like, what
Like I'm trying to think.
yeah.
But like,
Um,
what about TV shows that I
Monster
could
Squad's
follow?
good. That's a good pick, Monster Squad. It's the right balance of everything, and I think
Yeah,
it's good enough where everyone can watch it. Like everyone in your
yeah,
household, no matter, the age,
yeah.
like 7 to 70, or you're gonna have a good time. Like that's a really overlooked one. I think for a long time, Monster Squad was being overrated by a lot of people, like, and then it kind of like drifted off away a little bit, but like Stranger Things owes everything to Monster Squad. Like
A
shows
hundred
like
percent.
Stranger Things or all these nostalgia shows. They
Yeah,
owe everything to a movie like Monster Squad.
a hundred
Yeah.
percent. And
Oh
like Goonies too. Goonies, like I don't know, something about like kids getting together to kick ass. It's always
yeah.
attractive for like movies. You know what I mean? Because it's just fun. Because you could just imagine with your friends doing that, and you're like, oh, okay, let's that's cool. So like, yeah, Stranger Things, big time, 100% owns
Yeah,
it.
Lost Boys even had that aspect to
Yeah,
it too. Like Lost Boys is one of the like milder like R-rated movies. Like it's not that
yeah,
harsh. Like when you watch it again, like it's not if they cut a little bit out of it, it would be PG-13. But they even had that aspect at the end with the Corey Feldman stuff at
yeah.
the end where they're banding together and fighting fighting the vampires, which has kind of like the same feeling of that, like
Hmm.
Lost Boys and Monster Squad would be a good double feature to watch. If like we're in a drive-through or something like that, that
That's
would be
true.
like a good double feature, I think. Like
Yeah,
because they're
yeah. I
both
think that's a great
similar.
double
Like
feature. Yeah, yeah. It's similar,
yeah,
and you're like in the same neighborhood. You know what I mean? Like as
yeah,
far as movie
yeah,
goes,
yeah,
you're not gonna be like, I
yeah,
don't know. It's not like you're watching, Phantasm, and then you're watching, Monster Squad. You're like, what the hell is going on
yeah,
here? You know what I mean? It's like
yeah.
completely
They're
way
too
different
different.
movies. But
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
speaking of Phantasm, watching it
Mhm.
again, it's pretty interesting, man. Like there's some movies that we've spoken about in the past. Like let's say like Child's Play 2. Yeah, I
Yeah,
like that movie a lot, man. It's good. I remember you were talking about some scenes in the movie. It was great. I was watching, I
yeah.
was like, damn, I forgot about this. It's like a lot of cool parts.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, going back to seeing those things like yeah, I watched Phantasm 1 again and I'm like, "Oh man, like the artist in me, like the inner artist is like I'm loving this because it's like,
Yeah.
I picked Phantasm 2 as my favorite one because of the schlockiness of it and like
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
more
yeah.
narratively driven. It's easier to understand. But like I'm watching Phantasm 1 and I'm like, "Man, I don't know. I think I'm liking Phantasm 1 better because I like the aesthetic of it and kind of just
Yeah.
the feeling of, like, being, like it's experimental. It feels like like an experimental film. It almost
Yeah.
feels like a more beefed up Skinamarink in a way. Not the same,
Okay, I see
obviously,
what you're
but, like,
saying. Yeah, yeah.
you know
But
what I mean?
like,
'Cause
yeah, and I know
Skinamarink
what
is
you
so
mean. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, you're like,
Yeah.
"What's real? What's fake? What's this?" Um,
Or like what's
you know,
going on? More like
yeah,
for
what's
both.
going on?
You're like, what the
Yeah,
hell is
what's
going? You're
going
like,
on?
you're
Like
in. It's like Skinamarink is a funny movie because you're in it and you're like, okay, what is going on here? You have no idea what.
yeah,
Like to the end, you're like, what the fuck just happened? You know what I mean? I think
yeah,
that's what was popular with
and,
people.
yeah, Phantasm 2 overly explains things. So I think, like, as
That's
a
true.
kid or as somebody who hasn't watched it that many horror movies up until that point, Phantasm 2 resonated with me more because it was like set piece, set piece, set piece,
Yeah,
monster, explanation, long explanation as to what's happening. It was that voiceover was like, "So me and Reggie went down to Texas and we got our guns and we got" like,
yeah.
"All right."
It's funny.
I'm like, "Come on, Reggie."
Phantasm 2 is the only one that you have to pay for to watch. Like
Really?
it's not.
Where do you
Yeah, you have to rent it. It's
Oh,
like not a
because
every
it's
but
it's
all
from
the other
Universal.
phantasms. Yeah, all the other phantasms you can watch on Tubi. Like if you have like Paramount something like that, they're there. But not too. And I was like, damn man, that's crazy. I'm like, well, it says how much money's into Phantasm too. They're making sure you're paying that $4 or whatever it is. You know how it is.
They said we put up a lot of bread for this shit. You ain't watching this for free,
Yeah,
bitch.
no
Like
matter how
that
many
was
years from now, you're
Universal.
like, no, you're paying that $4. Fuck that.
You paying that shit? We want our
You
four
want to see?
dollars. Universal,
You want
like
Angus Scrim? You gotta pay the Angus Scrim price.
yeah,
The
you got
four
to pay
ninety
that Angus
nine.
Grim price, baby. You want admission into this, bitch?
But like, you want to see
Like
that shit? You're gonna see it. I'm trying to think as far as
beautiful.
Halloween, what else is there? You know what I mean? Because there's I mean, I feel like everybody when they talk about Halloween, it's always the same kind of movies, right? But
Yeah, it's trick or treat. Pump. Well, I
yeah.
would say Pumpkinhead. It's trick or treat.
Yeah, Pet
That's
Cemetery too.
Halloween.
Pet Cemetery, you like
Yeah,
specifics. Um,
yeah. Pet
yeah,
Cemetery 3.
can you imagine
Have you seen Pet
Poltergeist?
Cemetery 3 yet?
Huh?
Have you seen it yet? Yeah,
What
there's a
three?
Pet Cemetery 3.
No, no, I
Yeah,
know. Yeah,
it's on Paramount
yeah,
Plus. Have you
all of
seen
them
it
are
yet?
there. Yeah, I did this
Shit
whole one, two,
sucks.
three. It's terrible.
Fucking
It's like
terrible.
when you're
David
watching.
Duchovny's in that fucking movie. I'm like, what are you doing here, brother? Like, what are you doing?
I'm just
What are you
trying to
doing
get
in this
paid, bro.
movie?
I just doing
You
this to
don't get
get
no
pay
X
my
Files
shots for. I
money?
guess I don't know. You know what I
Wait a
mean?
minute. David Duchovny ran out of X Files money. What the fuck is he doing this movie for?
But probably needs that kind of money though. But
Shit.
no, watching 1, 2, I was like, oh, this is great. And then 3, you're like, what the fuck just happened here? You know what
What
I
did
mean? It's
they
kind of
do in
like,
that movie?
yeah, I don't know. But as far as everything else for Pet Cemetery, it's good stuff. I would say
Yeah.
2. I don't know why it fits for Halloween. I will say so. I don't think it's
No,
around the
two. Yeah,
Halloween time, but I get that vibe.
I'll give you that because 3 sucks. Don't
Yeah,
watch it.
horrible.
1 is serious. 1 is so damn fucking serious. It's such a sad movie. Like, because there's a little the baby boy,
Yeah, yeah.
Gabe, right? You're like, fucking sucks. Like, and it's a slow burn, and it punishes the audience in a good way.
Yeah,
2, I think, because he got Clancy Brown running around with his
yeah.
fucking head, and he's like, and the screwdriver. Like, it's more
And
memorable
then the
scenes, I think,
motorcycle
because
scene, and then the
the
rabbits, all that stuff.
motorcycle.
It's a lot going on. You
Yeah,
know what
yeah.
I mean? Chubby
A lot
kid
of
with
shit
his
going on.
best
Eddie
friend dog,
Furlong.
huh?
hmm Eddie
Yeah,
Furlong, he's up in that. He's fucking
yeah.
in that movie.
Yes, he is.
Is there
Yes,
titties
he
in that
is.
movie? There's titties in that. There's titties in that movie, right?
Yeah, there's titties in the movie because I think there's a random sex scene for no reason. You're like, okay,
Right. Yeah,
but
I
you want
remember
to make sure
titties
you
in
know
that
the
movie.
stepdad's banging somebody. You know what I mean? It's kind of like
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
but
And Clancy Brown is a gem, man. Clancy Brown, like it's more memorable. Like I remember Pet Cemetery too. Like if you say yo Pet Cemetery, right? The first thing that comes to my head is Pet Cemetery 2 is Clancy Brown.
yeah,
Is Clancy Brown character running around
yeah, just
with the
driving
cop.
around being dumb and stuff like that. Pull
Mm-hmm.
over, just like having a fun time. And he didn't even do that much makeup. It's just literally him, mess up his hair a little bit, and that's it. He looks scary as fuck. That's it. That's all you
It,
need.
It reminds me, yeah, it's true. It reminds me of Vincent D'Onofrio in Men in Black. Remember
Yeah,
when he
yeah.
was the bug and he was like
He did
fucking
that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
What a
yeah.
great actor,
That
man.
reminds me of him. Yeah, he's a great actor. Yeah, Vincent
What's that movie?
D'Onofrio.
Is that movie a horror movie? The Cell.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's a horror
Yeah.
movie. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
What did you
yeah.
think of it?
At the time when I watched it in the theater, I
Yeah,
liked it.
because of J Lo.
And
Because
I'm a
J
big
No
fan of
matter.
Jennifer Lopez.
Yep.
Man, there was where she was like at the hype like peak of her like popularity, like she was
Yeah,
everywhere.
100%.
She was in all the magazines. She's very popular now still. But there was that one scene with the where she was getting the milk and she had the cheeks. She was just like in
Hmm.
her panties. That was serious. That was
Everyone
that
went
was
to town
I
that
can't
time. They're
I
just like with their phones,
I
like.
think yeah. I think about that scene like at least twice a week. I don't know. I think about the Roman Empire once a week, and I think about that twice a week.
Speaking of the guy
It was just
from Men in Black, he was great in that movie, man. He's such a great actor. Like
yeah,
his
it
range,
was so
like
good.
everybody always talks about Gary Oldman, like, oh, he could do this. I'm like, man, you're forgetting about this guy. This guy went from what's the movie? Silver Metal Jacket, right? What's the name of the movie?
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, Full
This
Metal Jacket.
Full Metal Jacket. My bad. Yeah, from that, and
Yeah,
then he goes all the way to fucking being Kingpin. Such a great range, man. He's a great actor.
so great, so great. And he loses weight and gains weight depending on what the
Yeah,
role is, which is like it's crazy, like the Christian Bale style. I don't think he
yeah,
gets enough credit for it, but like The Cell, I think is a horror movie, man. Like there's a lot of scenes like that one scene where he's taking Vince Vaughn's intestines out. I was
yeah,
like, man, this shit is it's just
yeah.
rough. And they cut the horse scene where they cut the horse. They segment they
Yeah, yeah.
vivisect the horse. I was like, yeah, shit's good. You like it? Do you
It's
like the cell?
forgotten though. It's forgotten. Yeah, I liked it. I remember when I watched it, I liked it, and then that's pretty much it. I think I've only seen like a handful of times. I've never really gone back to it because it's one of those movies. It's like it's kind of like Avatar. You see it like twice, you're good. You know.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah.
when it's
Are you
unpleasant.
really
Yeah,
gonna watch
except for that it's cheap.
Avatar more than once? It's kind of like I mean, if you got the time.
Yeah,
So that's like the sell for me. You
yeah.
know.
Except for them cheeks. The cheeks are not
Oh, the cheeks is
unpleasant,
worth
but it's
it.
an unpleasant movie.
Yeah, it's definitely not.
Have you seen The Cell 2?
No, I didn't even know there was a sell too.
I know. It was on Tubi for a minute. It's called The Cell 2. It sucks. It's awful. And
Oh
it's
no
like
shit.
the special effects look like they were done by like they were done by somebody's like a Nokia cell phone. Like it has to be you have to watch it to believe it. Like it's so atrocious. Like for a movie, like the first movie, The Cell Part 1 is like so ahead of its time technically, like technically
Yeah,
speaking,
yeah,
like all the
100%.
effects.
If you watch it
It's
now, it still
beautiful.
holds up. You know,
Yeah.
like the cell,
Yeah,
like
true.
you could rewatch it again. Yeah, but
It's
the cell
beautiful, but
two
the
is that
second
bad?
movie is so like it's such a regression. Like it's so awful. Like they put zero effort into the story, zero effort into the effects. Like for a movie that was predicated on effects, it's just like what what is this? You have to see it to believe it. It's terrible, but you know,
Yeah,
it's there.
definitely not gonna
It
watch it.
exists.
I'll trust your judgment on that.
Yeah, don't watch it. Don't watch
No.
it. It's not, there's no need.
What's with movies
Oh
back then?
man.
Like the sequels were worse than the first. Like I feel like now
Yeah.
today, like especially horror movies, the first one's like, oh, it was good, but then usually the second one's much better. So let's talk about like
Yeah.
Lawnmower Man, right? The first one was great,
Mhm.
but then I feel like as it goes on, it just gets worse, especially with
Yeah.
special effects. Like it just seems like they get more wackier, and you're just like, what the fuck is going on here? But the first one made sense, you know what I mean, because of when it was made and stuff. After that, I'm just like, I don't know, man. It's kind of like cheesy right now, you know?
Yeah, the lawn. My thing with Lawnmower Man, my relationship with that movie is the first one traumatized me really bad. Like what
It
traumatized
was
me the most
creepy.
about Lawnmower Man 1 was the physical violence that happened like in the earlier parts of the movie. It
Yeah,
really like it disturbed me really bad as a kid when I watched it. So watching Lawnmower Man 2, I was kind of I didn't want to get into it because of how bad it was. But Lawnmower Man 2 is not even a horror movie in my opinion. Like Lawnmower Man 2 is more of like an adventure. So I
yeah,
wound up like because the first Lawnmower Man movie like messed me up so bad psychologically. I was like
yeah.
I went into Lawnmower Man 2 and because it was so not horrific, it was just like bullshit. I
Yeah,
wound
it's like a
up
science
liking
fiction
that a
movie.
lot
It's
more.
like, just
Yeah.
floating around in whatever
Yeah.
world they're in. And it was kind of like you're
Yeah,
like,
they had
well,
that
what just
that
happened?
fight at the end.
Yeah,
Yeah, they had that weird fight at the end. It was like a kung fu fight or some shit. I was like, "What the fuck
yeah,
is
because
this?"
I'm like, you go from one to like, and then you're like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, for me, one was like, I agree.
Yeah,
Like the violence in one was like, I remember watching that when I was younger. I was just like, damn, this movie fucked me up. You know, because I
harsh.
was like
Yeah,
spitting bricks. And then the second one, I remember seeing. I said, "Oh man, this is gonna be intense." I think it was on the Sci-Fi Channel back in the
yeah,
day. And
yeah,
I was
yeah. It
like,
was.
I'm just watching. I'm like, okay, like what just happened?
Yeah,
You know, it's like not
yeah.
scary.
It
It's
was.
just like super goofy.
Yeah, it was good. It was goofy, but I was like, I
Yeah,
appreciated the goofiness because like it messed me up so bad. Like the part where he's getting beat, like in the first movie, man.
yeah.
I
Okay,
couldn't take that shit, man. I didn't like that,
no,
man.
it's
Like,
rough.
yeah,
But it's
Lawnmower
funny.
Man.
It's
So
funny that
Lawnmower
you
Man, not a good. It's not a good
no,
movie
not a
for
good
Halloween,
Halloween
right?
movie. No, no.
Yeah,
But it's funny that
yeah,
because just to hear about like movies that you don't want to watch on Halloween, it's funny because it's something about Halloween that it gets you in the mood. You're like excited for candy. You're gonna start seeing people dress up and whatever, and then you don't want to fuck up that vibe by watching some serious shit. You know what I mean? And I gotta watch like I Spit on
yeah,
Your
yeah.
Grave or something like that, which is pretty funny about that. Not about what
Yeah,
happens on
I
screen,
Spit on
but
Your Grave is the
it's
worst. That's the
hilarious.
worst movie to watch on Halloween. You'd be like, "Hey guys,
Easily.
when you're done bobbing for apples over there, we got some popcorn over here. We got some nice like ghost pizzas. We made them in, and we're gonna put on I Spit on Your Grave too on the like
It's like
so
when
everybody
that
gather
grape
around, let's have a
when
good
the
time."
grape scene's
What the
happening,
fuck?
everybody's like, "Oh, let me just go real quick and grab a drink because it's gonna be done quick." like 30 minutes later you're back. You're
Yeah.
like, oh no, it's still going. Jesus, like what the hell?
It just
You
goes
know what
on
I mean?
forever. It goes on
Yeah.
forever, and the second one's even worse. The second one, they take the same scenes and they extend the assault scenes even further, and you're just like,
Would you say the original is
why?
worse or the remake as far as the scenes? Because I feel like I
The
would
of
say
the
for the
assault,
original it felt real. Like it looked like she was actually, it was happening. Versus the second, yeah, for the original.
okay.
I don't know. I just felt like it
Yeah,
was actually
I
like
think
happening.
yeah, the original one felt like more like voyeuristic in the
Okay.
sense that, like you said, it felt like more real. They were more rough to me because they lasted a lot longer. The tormenting of her, and this is similar to like Last House on the Left also.
Yeah.
Both those movies, they extend the assault scenes are way longer than the revenge part. I think with the remakes, both of those remakes, and specifically the I Spit on Your Grave remake, the assault is a good balance to assault and revenge, and
Yeah.
they do the revenge really good. In the it's less poetic, but in the remake, the revenge is a lot more satisfying and a lot more visceral. In the original one's more poetic, but the first movie is definitely rougher for me. Like if you like you said, it feels real. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
I was watching that thing, I'm like, yo, when is this gonna end?
Yeah. It's rough. It's
Oh,
meant to
and I
torture
didn't know
you.
where it was gonna go.
Yeah.
Yeah. hmm
Definitely not to watch on Halloween.
No, 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 definitely not. What's another bad one to watch on Halloween?
I'm trying to think, like, because I feel like
Just
everybody
any.
knows what to put on for Halloween. Put Scream, all of them. Fine, go at it, right? All the Screams. That's a good thing for Halloween, I would say, like a slasher film. But like, what not to watch?
Mhm.
Definitely don't watch Exorcist Believer, because you're just like fuck up your mood,
Yeah,
maybe.
food. You don't want that. You know
You're
what's a
not
good
even
one?
scared anymore.
I just thought of this one. Yeah, no. I just thought of this one, and this movie. I don't know if you've seen this one. It's on Shutter. Um, this movie takes place during Halloween, and it has for me one of the most satisfying horror movie endings. Like it's a crowd pleasing ending. It
Okay,
was satisfying, and like I think it will play well in a crowd. Have you seen this movie Haunt?
I think so. Is it's not? No, no, no. I know what you're talking about. Is it the one with the clown face?
Yeah, clown face guy. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I don't remember it too much, but I remember putting it on. Yeah.
Yeah. That one would be it takes place during Halloween, and it kind of plays on your biggest fear of like, we go to haunted house attractions
Yeah.
from time to time. And the biggest problem with those haunted house attractions is we don't know who's in that under that mask. Like I'm like, who are you? You're like,
Yeah, yeah.
people put on the mask, they scare you, they touch you, they grab you, hopefully not your genitals, but they do like they mess with you, right? Mess with
Yeah.
you, but you don't know who they are, man. You don't know if this person you don't know who they hired. Like it's
Yeah,
just
and then
you have to
they kind of
trust
apply
the
for and they
process.
kind of apply for it too. You know what I mean? They want to do this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So
So
your worst fear is that you're on one of these things and some guy or girl or whatever gets a little bit too frisky with you and it conducts violence on you. So that's what Haunt is particularly about. It's about a haunted house attraction and they take things a little bit too far. But for
yeah,
me, what makes it great is like the kills are it moves at a brisk pace. It gets it right to the point. There's good kills in it, and it's satisfying. Like a lot
yeah,
of the time with horror movies, the satisfaction comes from the fact that there's a sad ending or everybody dies or this
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
like that. I
Or
don't like
one
that. I
survivor
like
or something
when
like
there's
that.
balance. Yeah,
Yeah,
I like when there's balance in the force, and
yeah,
this movie has balance. I like that one. I think that's a great one for haunted for a group of people. That's one I've shown, but we've
yeah,
watched it in a group setting, and everybody just loves it. Like we by the end of the movie, we're just like, That was great." Makes you feel like, yeah, that you
yeah,
kick
yeah.
somebody's ass or something. Feel like ready to
I'm
go.
trying
But
to.
that
I'm
that's
trying to
what I
think
would
what's a.
recommend. Haunt.
I'm trying to think what's another bad one to watch. There's some
Yeah.
terrible ones to watch. You know what I mean? Definitely.
hmm
Definitely
Yo,
don't
when I
watch
put this hood
Society.
on, dude, do I look like a grand wizard or something?
You know why
Shit,
I'm
like
gonna say no? Just because you have the cross and I can see it.
oh, true. That's to
Everybody
throw you
probably
off,
like,
though.
is this guy Kratos or who the fuck is he?
I don't
I
know what
remember
I
as I was painting
I got this
myself, I
fucking
just got into like Joker mode. I'm just like, do I really need to go to work tomorrow? Do I? I'm just like, yeah, I gotta, yeah. But
You did pretty good on the makeup though. You kind of got it there with the
yeah,
Kratos thing with the thing with the
yeah. We're in the
it's
Itchy
all there.
thing too from
Oh
the
yeah,
Itchy short film.
the shirt and the
Yep,
background.
movie prop. Yep,
That's it's your
everybody can
background.
see it. Well, the happy birthday thing, that's gonna stay on forever. It's always somebody's birthday around here, man. It's like
Hmm.
every month. It's like, oh, happy birthday. I'm just like, yeah, let me just leave this shit on every time
Yeah,
somebody's birthday.
might as well. Fuck it, why I gotta keep putting it back on? Like,
Yeah, bro. It's
but
like it's crazy,
you know,
man.
like
Like especially in December, it's nuts.
yeah,
But yeah.
yeah,
Anyways, I'm trying to think for Halloween. That's pretty much it. Like I would say for like top of the my head, of what's a terrible movie to
yeah.
watch for Halloween. But
Watch, yeah, I wouldn't watch anything too extreme, like nothing too dramatic. Hereditary, don't watch it. It's too dramatic. It's too traumatic. Like the
mm,
Babadook. Like don't watch the Babadook. The
no, and
Nightingale.
the
Like
Babadook always
any
pisses
movie
me
that
off,
has
man.
like
That kid just pisses
triggering
me off.
things in it. Don't watch it.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
but 100%. I think by far the worst movie to watch on Halloween is Hereditary.
Yeah.
It's
Anything that
just
has
it
like
has a
anything
balance
triggering.
of
Like
yeah. It just fucks up your mood. It's you're not gonna
yeah, it
leave
messes up your
after
mood.
watching it all happy. You're not. It's impossible.
Yeah,
You know.
like a movie to watch, like when you're watching what's that movie? The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. like there's just movies that you watch and just like
Yeah.
it's just like it's a bummer. Like you don't want
Yeah.
like it's fine, they're fine movies, like
Yeah.
but you don't want to be bummed out on Halloween. Halloween is a time to like get away from
Yeah.
all the real life horror and just like
Yeah.
get immersed in like the goofy stuff.
And get into I also Halloween's about like the spirit, right? Halloween spirit. You're
Mhm.
getting in the mood. You're about to get dressed up, even though you're past, whatever age. You still want to do it. You're gonna go house to house to get free candy and stuff like that. And then I think anthologies are back to that work really well for Halloween because Halloween's a time to tell like a lot of scary stories, man. I think it's always people always have a cool Halloween story to tell, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I remember on Halloween I went trick or treating, this happened, you know what I mean? I definitely have one for my
Mhm.
friends when we did trick or treating, but I feel like that's what it is with Halloween. It's all about, stories to tell, you know what I mean?
Yeah, stories. Like what so what kind of yeah, it's true. It's true. What kind of shows do you like on Halloween?
X Files, no magic. So let's see.
That's
I
what
would definitely say Creep Show. Creep Show. Crypt. Tales from the Crypt. I'm not.
two of them
Yeah.
are good. The first two you named are good. Like I like those two.
But no. Ash Resident Evil. No, not that one. I just keep going. Wait, those are like
As
really
for
good shows.
people, I
Oh,
like
no,
that
no,
too.
don't watch it. No, I would say for me, Tales from the Crypt. If I have
Tales
to
from the
think of
Crypt.
Halloween, I think of a couple things. I think of anthology films, and I think of Tales from the Crypt big time. And for
Hmm.
some reason,
Yeah, I agree.
Twilight Zone is for me for New Year's. I don't know why. Thanks,
Yeah,
sci-fi.
it feels like a Thanksgiving, New Year's kind of thing to me. Like
It's
they always.
sci-fi's fault though, because sci-fi does a marathon of Twilight Zones
Mhm.
during like New Year's around that time and stuff like that. And I never understood why. You know what I mean? But it just works.
Mhm.
From now,
It
every time I think of
works.
Twilight Zone,
Works.
I think of Thanksgiving and New Year's. It's weird, but
Hmm.
for me, Tales from the Crypt, man. That's what I'm gonna say for TV shows.
Yeah,
I think
definitely Tales from the Crypt for me too. Yeah. And you could pick out what's cool about TV shows. Like if you have the if you have the box set or if you have
yes,
the anything there, you can pick out specific shows you want to watch, and they could be little vignettes, kind of like an anthology film. Like we're at a party, we may only show two vignettes or two episodes, and then we continue
yeah,
doing other things. It's a way like a little segmented type of thing. You don't have to sit through an hour and a half 2 hour movie. You could sit through a 30-45 minute segment, have a little fun. Tales from the Crypt is kind of like the perfect thing for that, for like a
yeah,
horror themed party or something, because you could just pop it in. Hey, watch this one about this taxidermist, or watch this one about where they eat people at the restaurant, which
yeah.
is like,
Or this
it's
one, this
like
guy cheats
cool
on his
little
wife and gets
thing.
what he deserves, kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's a lot of
usually,
yeah.
yeah.
It's a
Oh
lot of
man,
cheaters on Tales from the Crypt. You ever notice that?
it is. Yo, it is. Yeah, yeah.
Like
That's a
I feel
big
like every
theme.
episode has someone that cheated on their wife or a wife cheated on their husband, and then goes into the story. You're like, okay, again. But yeah, it's a lot of
Yeah,
that.
like it's only yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot like that. Yeah, there's a lot of them where infidelity, and it's like
Yeah,
I felt like somebody disagreed with us on TikTok. They were like, they're Tales from the Crypt doesn't always tell you teach you a lesson. I'm like, it kind of does though a lot.
It
Like there's you watch those
it
again, they always
really
have some
does
kind of like
though.
cautionary thing. It
I
does.
feel like
I think
Twilight Zone is more hey, this is why you don't do this, like more versus Tales from the Crypt is it is telling you like the wrongs of doing stuff, but in a different way, if that makes
mm,
sense. You know what I mean? I feel
yeah,
like
yeah.
everybody you can learn a lesson really easily by watching the Twilight Zone versus Tales from the Crypt. It is, but it's just not the one that you don't want to not do. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah,
oh, I cheated
exactly,
my wife, so
exactly.
what, I'm gonna get murdered? What the fuck? You know what I mean? Like that kind of
I'm gonna
stuff.
get turned into a fucking taxidermist. I'm gonna get stuffed
What? I
and put on
can't
a
cheat on my
mantle.
wife and then nothing bad happens. What the hell's going on? You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
but yeah,
I'm gonna get eaten by vultures. My penis is gonna get eaten by vultures if I am infidel, if I commit adultery. It's bullshit.
and then
But yeah, it's
back
good.
to our commenter. There's a lot of great commenting people. You know what I mean? Like our like people commenting on the videos. There's some that just stand out very much, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
Especially in The
where we got
Exorcist.
into the game when we
Yes,
started this channel 8 months ago. Like I was like,
yeah, it was in
yeah,
April.
like we made that talk. We're like, yo, we're gonna get some. It's a horror movie centric channel where we
Yeah,
have very opinionated thoughts about horror films and analysis and all those things in general. And it's like we're getting some comments,
but
and
never
the
think we
comments on The
thought they're
Exorcist.
gonna be very out there. We were thinking more like, "Yo, fuck Hector," or "Will's full of shit," you know, that kind of stuff. But it was just very odd comments. You know, very
There's some odd
surprising, I
ones.
will say.
There's odd
Very
ones. They
great.
haven't been really like one thing I was expecting. What I guess is how we come across or whatever. But they're not been very disrespectful comments. They've been actually everybody's
No,
been cool, but it's just been weird. Yeah, like all our comments that we got have been like not general. Like even if they disagree with us, like it's not like
yeah,
negative. Like nobody's really like telling us like, "Hey, shut up, you fat bastard." like
yeah.
damn,
But like,
yeah, I was
hey, look at
expecting
that
more like
guy.
that.
He's not even shaving full bald. He's fucking bald. I'm like me, you know. But like, but we definitely got the. I guess the surprising thing about it is like the more weird comments. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's the
I
funny
mean,
thing about
Exorcist
it.
is weird. Exorcist is a weird type of movie. It attracts a weird energy, and we definitely
Yeah.
got a lot of views on that one,
Oh
and
yes.
a lot of comments. And you're gonna get those odd ones, man.
And the
Man,
odd
there
ones are
was
always the lengthy ones. Those guys don't just hit you with one sentence; they
yeah,
hit you with like a novel and shit like that. But yeah, it was
yeah.
just funny.
They have to let you know their life story, but we appreciate it though.
Yeah,
So keep
100%.
commenting, guys, who's watching this. Keep
We'll put a
commenting
nice
because
little
we
heart
love
on
reading them.
it. Yeah.
We
But yeah,
read every single comment. By the way,
yeah.
like both of us, we read every single comment and we talk about them.
And if
We may even
there's
do a
one
video
that
on
we just not gonna touch, we won't touch it.
Yeah, we will talk.
Some
If we
people
don't put a
make a
heart by
comment that comment they made, it does to themselves more than if you were to comment
yeah,
to them.
like we won't argue with you because everybody has a different view on life and
Uh
different opinions about something. I can't argue with you about what your opinion is, right? I can't tell you
yeah.
you're wrong about your opinion. Your opinion's your opinion, and what you believe to be true, you believe to be true, just like what we do. So, like, if you don't see us hard, we won't say anything at all. So we just leave it alone.
If you didn't get a like or anything, it's just I think your comment is just needs to you gotta check it out
We need to
again.
chill out here, buddy. But
I think that's
hey,
when
what
you know
about
you're
Tales
like,
from the Dark Side?
huh? Yeah, I think it's great.
That was good,
Test from,
right?
yeah. Test from the Dark Side is a classic, man. I remember watching it. I've been trying to watch a lot of like classics during this whole week. But I didn't watch that. No, imagine I just shit on that movies like that. There's not a fucking classic to
It
me.
sucked. I
But
like the
it's
gargoyle one at the end with the black gargoyles.
mm-hmm.
With the black lady and the little black kids with gargoyles, and they have kids, and she doesn't. She's like, no, you weren't supposed to find out. And then
Yeah,
that would always break my heart, man. They had a
yeah.
good life going. I like Tales from the Dark Side though. That's a good one. They put a lot of
The first one hits
effort
you
in.
hard though, right? Because it's like
Yeah.
it's funny how they're like about to, when they go into that funeral home. But then as
Hmm.
far as that story, you're like, oh shit, with the cops and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It hit hard. Those ones hit hard. Tales from the Hood.
Yeah.
I put up a poll on
Oh, you did?
YouTube. Yeah, it was like, what is your favorite anthology? And I think the number one was Creepshow, but I think number two, if I'm not mistaken, was Tales from the Hood.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Tales
that's
from the
not
Hood. Yeah, people
but
really
that's
like
not
that one.
surprising though, because Tales from the Dark Side, Tales from the Hood, they're like great. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah.
Tales from the Hood, man. That like
I think I was
I
talking
think
about
Tales from the
Tales
Hood
from
like
the
a lot.
Hood actually, not Tales from the Dark Side. About my
Oh,
story.
Tales.
Yeah, with the
Oh, about
cop.
the cop. Oh, the
Yeah,
cop
so
that
the
killed that
cop.
black dude.
Yeah, but the cop was trying to help him, and they're like, "You need to step in your fucking place and all that shit."
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
think
That's Tales from the Hood. That's
that's
Tales
Tales
from
from
the
the
Hood.
Hood. Yeah, my bad.
Oh,
But yeah,
wait a minute. Did you confuse it because it was Tales from the Dark Side as in black
did I
people? Did
confuse
you?
a black
Is that
movie with
what
another black movie?
Tales from the black guys,
Because I
like
could have
Tales from the
sworn the
Dark Side because
gargoyle
it's
thing
black people,
was
right?
also. It's funny. The gargoyle thing I could have sworn was in Tales from from the Hood.
Nah,
Yeah.
well, there's black people in that movie, and that
What?
one. It was about that guy. He fell in love with the gargoyle, and they were black, and he had the two
Yeah.
black kids. No, no, yeah, but no, but Tales from the Hood, yeah, yeah. What I like about Tales from the Hood is that nowadays everybody has talking about woke and social
Yeah.
commentary and shit like that, and the movie there's all these movies that try to do it like the new Candyman, which I'm not a fan of, but
Yeah.
like with Tales from the Hood, they did it. They did the perfect balance of like social commentary and horror, and they made it like not preachy. Like they made it not preachy. It just was like this is part of what it's
I agree
about.
because
Like this is an organic story
yeah, it
with commentary.
shows you what wrong is happening versus kind of like
Mhm.
shaming you on like, oh, if you're this,
Right.
you're an asshole kind of thing, da da da. But like versus it showing you what happens, and you're like, wow, I didn't know that happened. I think for what's that? Lovecraft Country. Do you ever see that?
Hmm.
That
I
first
saw a
episode.
couple episodes.
I only saw
Yeah.
the first like 3 episodes, and the thing about
Same, same.
yeah, the thing I liked about it was the blowjob scene. Imagine, wasn't that blowjob
That's
scene
my
mad
favorite.
random? It was like the most
It
random
was.
blowjob scene. Man. I was just like, wait, what? It actually made me uncomfortable because I was like, what the? Because
I never
HBO, you
see
know
a
how they play.
reason.
HBO, if you see
Yeah.
a sex scene, you're gonna see some, you know,
You'll see some stuff. I
yeah,
feel like every time there's a blowjob scene in a movie, it's always unnecessary. Like I've never seen a
yeah.
blowjob scene that was necessary to the movie.
Like that
That's
blowjob
just me.
scene, and it was the first episode too. I was just like, what the fuck is going on here? And I don't even remember anything
Yeah,
about H.P. Lovecraft having blowjob scenes in his novels. But
yeah. He
but
he
anyways,
loves
but
blowjob.
the whole sundown scene, right, when they're like trying to get
Yeah.
away from the cop, I never knew about that, and I was like, oh shit, that's fucking crazy. And then they put you in you're driving. If you speed a little bit, then he has the right to pull you over, and then he's just gonna
Mhm.
stall till the sun goes down, and he'll do whatever terrible thing. But just that alone, you're like, damn, that's fucked up. That's crazy. I can't believe people would
Yeah.
do something like that. And I enjoy that versus like like you said with Candyman, it's kind of like, oh, they're preaching it versus showing you it in a you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of like what
Yeah.
Tales from the Hood did.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like it's preachy. Like I don't like those things because when I'm watching Tales from the Hood, it's making me think. Right. It's also scaring me. It's giving me a horror movie first, but it's
Yes.
also not shying away from the social commentary. But they're doing it in a way where they're not like just reading off a list of like wrongs. They're just like this is what happens. Like this is a horror movie representing things that happen. Like you can take it as is. But like for me as a child watching those movies, I'm just like yeah, this was a really scary movie. And then when you're an adult, you're like, oh yeah, they were talking about this. Oh, they were talking about this. Like that's where it's such a special movie with Tales from the. That's what made Tales from the Hood for me
Yeah.
so special because it's like just the perfect right. It's the right balance. They were doing it before it was trendy. They were making
Yeah.
movies that had a social conscience before it was like the mandatory thing to do, like or the trendy thing to do,
But
which I
they did it
like.
in the right way. I think it
Yeah,
like I
they did it
agree
right
with
away.
you, man. Yeah. Versus
Yeah,
Candyman is very much like you fucked it up.
man. Yeah,
you
they they
know.
they they screwed that one up bad.
Yeah.
What was your favorite segment of Tales from the Hood?
Trying to think if I remember any of
Maybe
them
the cop one,
because I
right?
might be confusing
Maybe the
with
cop one.
from part two as well. Was the one of the little people like running and stuff like that? Do you know what I'm talking about?
The dolls,
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
dolls,
yeah.
the little dolls. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That
That's
that
that's Tales. That's my favorite one too. Yeah,
yeah, that one was fucked up. That one, to me, that's like that. Whenever you tell me Tales from the Hood, I think of that instantly. That kind of creeped me the
it's the
fuck out.
best. Yeah, those little doll
Yeah,
things,
yeah,
those little
yeah.
slave dolls. Man,
Yep.
those are good.
They're
I
freaky.
also like the David Allen Greer one.
Okay.
What a turn from him. Like, yo, like David Allen Greer, always like in living color, funny guy, right?
I'll blank
Blank
man
Man,
too.
and then I'm
Yeah,
seeing him as a terrifying, like monster that's
yeah.
like beating his family. Like he was so scary, man. Like that's a triggering one for a lot of people that not for me, but like for people I can see if you came from an abusive household.
Oh yeah,
That could be a very triggering one for you. It was a rough one. I like that one a lot. And it was like, you know, watching it now, like I didn't realize the extent of the damage that he was doing to that family. Because you
yeah,
watch it as a kid, you're like, your mind doesn't go into those dark places, right? Like when he's
yeah,
going into his room at night, you're like thinking, oh, he's just, smacking him up or something like that. And he comes with a black eye, broken arm, whatever. But then when you watch it now, and then you see what he was actually doing to that
yeah,
little boy, you're like, oh shit, this is worse. This
yeah.
is way worse. What was happening? I was
You
like,
know,
oh, brutal.
he's a great actor though. He's another one that I think
Oh
has good
yeah,
range.
hell
You know what I
yeah.
mean? A lot of people don't know that because there's been movies I see. I said, "Oh shit, is that him?" And I'm like, "Damn, this is
Yeah.
yo. You don't play." Because I think a lot of people just remember him from In Living Color and Blank Man.
Mhm.
That's it. And he's in a lot
Blank
of
Man.
other
Yeah, yeah.
comedies too. But Blank Man was awesome though.
You
Great
know he
movie.
he was up for George in Seinfeld, the
Really?
Jason Alexander part.
I
Yeah,
didn't know that.
he was up for George. He was close to getting that role. I just saw an interview with him recently, and he was talking about how he was very close to being on Seinfeld. I was like, George? I mean, that would have been interesting.
That's crazy.
I don't know if he played that neurotic type kind
I
of
don't know.
character, but
Maybe. But
maybe in an
that's it.
alternate universe he was.
I know, right? In a parallel universe.
Yeah,
But speaking of interviews, I saw this interview with John Carpenter, and he was talking
yeah.
about how apparently Rob Zombie talked shit about John Carpenter, saying that like John Carpenter when Rob Zombie went to do the Halloween movie, that he would ask him like, "Hey, whatever," and that John Carpenter was cold to him, that he treated him like shit, and John Carpenter was like,
Mhm.
"Man," when I heard him say that, I was like, "What's up with this fucking guy?" Like. I sent him nothing but love. It's your movie. Make the way you want to do it. And then he's just saying that. I was like, what an asshole. I was just like, damn. It's like
Yeah,
hearing John Carpenter
yeah.
talk like
Rob
that. You're
Zombie.
like, oh shit. You know?
Yeah, Rob Zombie's a little like he's a little funky with his stories because I saw him on just on that same tangent.
Hmm.
He was on the Howard Stern show, and he kept talking about how people always like come up to. Well, I mean, this might be true, but he always hears like people love his movies. Like, I'm like, if anything, like your movies are divisive. Like
Yeah.
they're not widely beloved movies. He feels like there's a conspiracy against him that critics hate his movies, but the public likes his movies. And I'm like, it's kind of split. Like there are people that genuinely like his films,
Yeah,
and
100%.
um,
But like, there's a lot of people that I don't know, man. Like, okay, I can see with the first couple films that they like it, but after that, like,
mhm,
what's that movie,
mhm.
21? That shit
21,
sucked.
yeah.
And then the other witch
31,
movie with
31.
it, 31, yeah, yeah. And then the other one with the
Yeah,
witch
yeah.
and his wife. Salem.
Witches of Salem or something like
That
that,
shit
or the
sucked. And I'm just
that
like,
that
bro,
shit was terrible.
yeah, it was horrible. And I remember I actually bought that
Three
shit
from
too.
Hell,
What I
Three
used to
from
do
Hell
back
too.
then, I used to just buy movies and then watch it at FYE.
Mhm.
I remember I was like, oh, cool, I'm gonna watch a Rob Zombie movie. I'm like, this fucking sucks. Fuck this guy. You know what I mean? So
It sucked. It sucked.
I don't
Yeah,
know, man.
like I like House of a Thousand Corpses, and I
The
really
Devil's
like Devil's
Rejects.
Rejects.
Yeah, they're great. But
Yeah, I
like,
like those a lot.
but after that, it's kind of like it's the same. Like it's just I don't know. It's just weird. So for him to just to say like oh people love me but they don't, and I'm just like I don't know, man. You've always been that kind of guy that you're just like right down the middle with everybody. If there's a room of
Right
five
down the
people,
middle.
I'm
Yes, he's
assuming
divisive.
two will hate you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. It's his stuff is divisive. It's not widely liked. Like some people like the fact that um Michael Myers has a backstory, and a lot of people don't like it that he has a
John
backstory
Carpenter
and he has a
himself doesn't like
motivation for
that.
killing.
That's one thing
Yeah,
John
I don't like
Carpenter
that.
said. He
That's
said
one
he
thing
hates
too.
that. He
John
said it took
Carpenter
away
didn't
from
like
the
it.
mystery. He's like you went too
It
much
does.
into
It does.
his
It's
yeah. So
it's like he's killing because he had a bad childhood. Well, welcome to the club, pal. Like
yeah,
the
bro.
fuck, man. Like
I just
we all
that's
got
all
like
that
trauma,
happened to you
childhood
when you were a
trauma.
kid. Shit, imagine me.
Oh, your mom was a fucking stripper. So the fuck what? You got free drinks on Thursday. Like that's really it. Your
And
kids
on
at
top
school are
of
gonna
that, your
make
mom's
fun
a
of you for
beautiful lady.
whatever.
That must mean your
Yeah.
mom's a beautiful lady. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Like, what, you just gonna go off and kill everybody? Like, come on. Like, the idea that Michael Myers just killed like everybody for like no reason is like that's that's fucked up, man.
Yeah.
You want a reason. Like when you find out that somebody just randomly came in and just stabbed a bunch of people in a McDonald's, right? No reason, no motivation, nothing. He gets arrested. He's like, I just felt like doing it today. Like that's fucked up. That
Yeah.
sucks. That's terrifying. If somebody's like, man, he cheated on my wife, you'd be like, man, don't sleep with that man's wife. That's why you got stabbed, you dumb bitch. Like it takes the mustard out of it. It's like
Yeah. No, I
it's
agree.
not scary. Like you got stabbed for like stealing this guy's money or stealing his car or getting him fired, you're like, all right, well, fuck you, man. Yeah,
That's the
you
thing
got
about
what you
like even like
deserved.
when you think about it, like with serial killers, right? You know, a lot of them get
Hmm.
glorified, and there's like a bunch of movies made after them. It's mainly because you don't know why. You know what I mean? And if
Hmm.
you know why, you're just like, "Oh, for that, just because you didn't get a raise or something like that, or because they didn't give you that.
Yeah,
You ordered a 4 piece, they gave you a three. You know what I mean? Like what
yeah.
stuff like
Yeah,
that.
that's one of my things. That's like I love Old Boy, that movie Old Boy.
Mhm.
It's one of my favorites. And then like the mystery behind it is why this guy's getting revenge on our main character. You're just like, you know, why is he getting revenge on this guy? And I'm
Yeah.
like, mystery behind it is like so intriguing because he went through all of this, and you know, the idea of it is that a pebble and a piece of sand and a rock, they sink the same in water.
Mhm.
So it doesn't matter how big or small you think the infraction is, it matters to them.
Yeah.
So like, but when you get to the end and you figure out he just like in passing said a rumor about his sister, which you
You're
know
like,
caused a ripple effect.
damn.
You're just like, what he did for that? You're
Yeah,
like,
but this
damn,
guy
like you know, like
planned for years. This whole I'm gonna get you
years.
back the best fucking way I can, and you're like, okay, just
Yeah.
for the rumor. I'm like, all right, you
Yeah,
know,
like in passing too. It wasn't even like a fucking like he wasn't like telling everybody. He's like, yeah,
yeah.
I think he's fucking his sister. Like what?
Then
Yeah, she's
people, of
pregnant too,
course,
I
just
think.
run with it, and then there you go. There comes old boy. But it's funny about that, man. Like
Yeah,
in some cultures, a rumor can really do it for somebody. You know what I mean? Like
for real. Yeah,
people, like
yeah, it can.
in some cultures, especially. Like I
Hmm.
think in a lot of Japanese movies, there's a lot of like, oh, if there's a rumor of this person being this, they like that's it. It's their end of life kind of thing. It's crazy because people just go with rumors and they just go with it.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Word.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's pretty. That's the way it goes, man. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, you know, in some of the movies, like, it's all lessons, like all of these different things. You know, it's a lesson for the character that was pursuing the revenge because that's his whole life was determined by that revenge and dictated by that. And he wound up killing himself because his life had no meaning. And then,
Yeah.
you know, you got to watch what you say too. Some people like because something could affect somebody really bad. Like you know, you could just say something like it could mean the world to them. Like you could say, "Hey, nice tie" to somebody on the street, and it can mean the
Yeah.
world to them, and you made their day. Or you could be like, "Oh man," like you called somebody a twat or something, and then they're just like,
Yeah. You fucked your day
"It's
up.
on, bitch.
Yeah.
I'm getting you. I'm getting
Old boy is
revenge on your
definitely
ass."
another title for that would be is fuck around and find out. Spread a rumor and find her out. Kind of,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. That's a fucking that's definitely a fuck around. But,
But yeah, man. I mean,
what would
as
you
far
say
huh?
definitively, the worst horror movie the worst horror movie to watch on Halloween? What definitively would you say, like,
100% hereditary.
absolutely 100% no?
Hereditary.
Yeah, alright.
Once you said that, I'm just like, yeah, that would just watching it. It fucks up my mood. I'm thinking, right? When you're thinking about stuff like that, you're like, oh man, am I a fuck up or something like this? But also, what would you do in that situation as a parent and as a kid? Woof. You know, it's so tough. That's the worst thing to think about before Halloween. You know, you just
Yeah,
finished watching
that's
that.
true.
All right, kids, let's go trick or treating. Let's go. You know, it's terrible. It's like easily
Yeah.
the
It
worst.
hits all the marks.
Yeah,
It hits all the trauma mark.
it's
Yeah.
terrible.
It hits all the trauma. We don't need to bring this shit up at Halloween.
I can imagine at a Halloween party, there's like, yo, guys, let's put hereditary. And everyone's mood is just fucked. Like
It's
everybody's just
fucked,
quiet
yeah.
and they're like, all right, I was gonna smoke weed, but I just want to go home now and see my sister. So
Yeah, yeah.
you know what I mean? But yeah.
Yeah, like but, like, I think any zombie movie, like, would be good, right?
Yeah,
Would you
100%.
think would you say that?
Return of the Living Dead, 100%, all of them.
Perfect,
You know, you want to see one, two,
perfect.
three? Sure. I think those are perfect Halloween
Yeah,
movies. You
perfect
know,
choice. Yeah, those are even, like, the more, like, hardcore ones, like the 28 Days Later and stuff like that. I think they all work. I mean, because 'cause
yeah,
they're fun, they're, like, exciting. They get people jumping. They get people,
yeah, yeah,
like, they get the crowd going, you
yeah.
know?
Get you in the mood.
I
I
think
think
those work.
The Conjuring is a great movie for Halloween too. It's got
Yeah,
that
Conjuring's great.
scare,
Great
you know
jump
what I mean?
scares.
Yeah. I don't know why. I feel like haunted house movies are always like a good thing for Halloween. I don't know why. It just kind of works, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
Definitely, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I think everybody knows what to watch for Halloween. I mean, I think Halloween's one of those movies like you know. All right, let's watch this. But I think what people really need to know is what not to. and
Hmm.
I think Hereditary
Yeah,
really was. It's funny because I can imagine just watching it. I would just hate my life. I'm like, oh man, I don't want to fucking go trick or
yeah,
treating.
but hey, I would
You
feel
know?
bummed. Yeah, I don't want to do it. Yeah,
Yeah, just want to stay home.
it's
I'm
one
like,
of
yeah,
those
no.
movies that like they would. Yeah, nah, I'm good with that. But let us know in the comments. Like, comment on this.
Yeah,
We got two people
what's
watching,
one
but
that you think you wouldn't like? I think we had
yeah, what's a
someone
movie
watching
that
the
you
whole
watch on
time.
Halloween? Yeah, somebody watched this entire time. Shout out to you. If you're watching this whole time, hit comment. Let us know who you are. 'Cause it was one
Like,
guy watching us the entire time, and I think he
yeah,
left. No,
yeah.
but yeah, let us know.
He's like, oh fuck, they
We
found
called him
out.
out.
Like,
They
oh
found out I was watching the
shit.
entire time, but we appreciate you. Hey, man, we appreciate whoever was watching that entire time. Like, thank you. Like, this is our first
Yeah,
live, and we're just like we're experimenting, seeing different things that what you guys want to see, and this is just a quick discussion on
yeah,
something. Halloween's coming up tomorrow in a couple days, and we want to talk about some of the best horror movies and just different tangents that we have.
yeah. And if there's
But yeah,
definitely one
getting
that
into
you
an
want to
hour mark.
recommend, anything you want to recommend that won't watch on Halloween, let us know in the comments too.
Let us know in the comments below. So let's get into an hour. I guess we'll end it here.
Yep.
We'll do these once in a while. I guess I don't know. Whenever you feel like
Yeah,
it,
yeah. We'll see. Yeah,
we could come
see
in
how
there.
it
We got
goes.
some extra time. We'll talk about it. Yeah, whatever. We have something brewing, but like Halloween, let us know. What's your favorite ones? I mean, what's the worst one? Do you agree that it's Hereditary? I think it is. I think I agree with the. I agree. Hereditary.
That's terrible.
Don't watch that.
It's funny just
A
thinking about it. I'm
terrible
just
one.
like, yeah, that would just fuck up my mood. I was like, no, no, thank
It
you.
would. It would. That's a bummer. But what's not a bummer is Terror Talk with a 3 instead of an E. Subscribe
Mm.
to our channel. Hit that bell notification. Let us know in the comments below. What do you want us to talk about next? We're here for you. We're here. And if you like this video, consider coming and joining us. And hey, comment here when we're live. We'd love to answer any questions. We're what
The
questions we
same
gonna answer?
person left. He's like, oh, fuck it.
I'm stuck in a haunted house right now. What do I do? I'm like, I don't know.
He's like, I don't know. Depends the situation. All right. Well,
But we're ending this right now, so we'll see you in the next one.
yep. Terror Talk out.
Check out our other videos. Terror Talk out, baby. I think that's yeah.
I
Oh.
think so.